Hey, everybody. It's the Knowledge is Love Astrology Podcast, episode 355. Well, hope you're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy this amazing interview with Miss Paula Hurlock. She's a wisdom keeper, does work on the energy grids, helps with Ascension, herbs, and Wellness Experience Jamaica. She is amazing. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, comment, talk in the chat, and reach out to Paula. It's paulahurlock.live, and it was an amazing interview. I hope you enjoy it. You're going to learn, laugh, and connect with this beautiful soul. All right? So I'll see you on the other end, and I'll be live in the chat right now as well. Bye.
What we were doing in Jamaica is that we, our grandmothers used to use very interesting remedies. And one of them was menthol crystal.
Menthol crystal?
Yeah, it looked just like salt, except it has long crystals.
Yeah.
And when you dissolve that in hot water and put your, a towel over your head and steam with that, any virus in the body along the nasopharyngeal tract in the mouth or the throat would just get completely eliminated by, because menthol is very strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
So,
hey everybody, welcome back. It's Eric from BigEAstro with my Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast. Today on episode 355, I have an amazing guest from Wellness Experience Jamaica, a wisdom keeper, and so much more, Miss Paula Hurlock. Paula, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you for having me, and hello to all your listeners and followers and all the people that are watching this right now.
This is so great. This has been in the works for a while, and I just love that phrase, wisdom keeper, because even the first time that we spoke, that's the energy that I felt from you. It was so heartfelt and so authentic, and truly the wisdom just jumped through the phone. And so I kind of want to ask you, where do you think that wisdom comes from? Is it something within? Did you get it a little bit from mom or dad? Or is it just also cultural? Share with us.
Interesting question. You know what? I think it comes from, and you're gonna resonate with this. I think it comes from my sign, first
Ah,
of all, because
yes.
I feel as if I've always been like this. I've always been curious. I've always been interested in the esoteric knowledge. I've always been interested in dreams and Egypt and all the things that no other children would be interested in. So there must have been some seed inside of me that is leaning that way. And then I was very fortunate to have been born into a family. It seems that they were healers. I feel now that I'm understanding spiritual gifts, I know that both my grandmothers and my great grandmothers were healers. That is for sure, especially on my father's side. It seems like the whole of that group were priest born or healer born. Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother had, on my dad's side, she had 11 children. Sorry, 13. A set of twins died. And she also turned out to be the person who helped birth children in the community.
So she was like a midwife or a doula?
Yes, and everything. This is a rural community in southern St. James, so they had to work with herbs, as
Yeah.
the medicine. So everybody in the family now understands the herbs. They know all the herbs. So my dad knows all the herbs, and of course I'm a town kid. Like herbs. What herbs? turned my nose up at herbs for all my life until the pandemic struck, right?
Ah, okay.
And then, all of us had to reevaluate what nature had in store for keeping us healthy.
Yes.
So, things grew from there. But yeah, so my wisdom comes from acquired knowledge, from just being interested in certain topics and doing the research around it, reading around it, meeting people who were experts in those areas. And so then I'm now the sum total of all the things that I've always been interested in all my life. So yeah.
I love that. And you hinted towards it. So let me share, with everyone your astrology. Paula is an amazing Pisces sun, Pisces moon, and a Pisces rising. She's got a serious stellium, you guys, in Pisces in that first house. And, that's a fascinating energy. I haven't had not one client with a chart like yours. And also, we both share that Jupiter and Scorpio. Yours is in the ninth house. And so for you, I could imagine growing up and share with the audience, were you kind of always daydreaming and were you always like escaping Earth and Jamaica, and share where you grew up in Jamaica for us as well. But I'm sure you were always in the dream realm, huh?
So I'm from Montego Bay, and I was a very normal child. I was, like a very good goody two shoe kind of child, you know, excellent at academics,
Yeah.
first in my class all the way through until university, when, university, you start to go off on a tangent. So I was always, well behaved, conformist, and so on. So I only became rebellious and nonconformist as I became an adult. Which I think every Jamaican, everybody knows Jamaicans are a rebellious lot. So we tend to listen to what you tell us, and then we're like, but. So that's a part of being a Jamaican. And my dad, I grew up with a father who was, he wasn't Rastafarian, but he did study that. He studied everything, the Kabbalah, he studied the Indian mythology,
Oh, wow.
he studied everything. So I grew up watching him be curious about everything. So, of course, naturally, I would be interested in all the things that I saw him reading. So I remember, like, when I was like 11, seeing this book about Sirius B, the dog star, and the
Oh,
whole thing. Like, I'm 10, 11, but I read the whole thing. So it's almost as if the universe puts into your sphere all the things that you need to know at a very early age that is going to now chart the direction that you will take. Because I have no business reading a book about Sirius being when I'm 18 years old.
that's a great story. I love. Oh my god! And you know what? That is such a comment from a Pisces sun, moon, and rising. Like that right there sums it up all perfectly.
Yes.
So tell me, I want to know because you did mention something about the pandemic, and unfortunately, I had a near death experience around that time in 2021
Mhm.
because of that. So you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge and do retreats and deal with herbs. So tell me and our audience, what are the best herbs for our lung health and to build up the immune system?
Okay, so the primary thing, the underpinning of what was happening during the pandemic was that we had a virus out and stunting, right? Now, what you want to do when there is an outbreak of anything is make sure that your inner your microbiome,
Yes.
your inner environment is not an enabling environment for its proliferation. So you want to get your internals cleaned up. You want to get your organs functioning optimally. You want to get your bloodstream clean. You want to get your liver clean. You want to make your lungs as clear and your upper respiratory system as clear as possible. so that even if it does get in, it's like, oh, we don't want to stay here, right?
Yep.
So, you know, when this pandemic was going on and everybody was in panic, I was like, okay, I I was ill back in 2012, 2013, 2014. And so I approached my illness using traditional Chinese medicine.
Mm.
And so I learned a lot of the TCM herbs and the principles of synergistic herbs and blends and so on. So now when this pandemic rolls around and, you know, shipping is now curtailed, and I'm like, wait a minute. We have 85% of the world's healing herbs on this country.
Yeah.
Why should we even be panicking about this? We have everything that is going to support our health and our immune system. So I started to do the research, spoke to all of the local herbalists, and we basically came up with like a little strategy in terms of how are we going to guide the Jamaican population in terms of what to consume
Mm.
to make themselves just stronger. Because let me tell you something, the Jamaican population was one of the most vaccine resistant, vaccine hesitant populations on the planet.
I
Let me
know
tell
that's right.
you what. So we were like, no. And I don't blame them. Imagine us, one of the strongest, most powerful populations on the planet.
Yeah.
And one little dot on the map, right? But we have what? Song of the Century. We have all these heroes and sheroes. We're number one on the track when you put us during the Olympics,
Yeah.
creating the Song of the Century. You know, we're just a vibrant population.
Yeah.
So why now should we be taking advice from the most cancer-ridden population?
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, yeah. I said, you know, when we were on the plantation, did we have health centers? Did we have a doctor on call to attend to the population on the plantation? No. We
Okay.
had to fix ourselves. And we came equipped from the continent, and we connected with the local populations here on this island, which were the Tainos. And so we figured out what herbs were good for what. The pharmaceutical and nutraceutical um, the industry is based wholly and solely on plants and what the traditional uses were. Okay, those companies send their scientists to Jamaica to go talk to the herbalists and say, so what is this good for? Oh, that's good for when you have a flu or a cold. Okay, and this is good for vomiting and diarrhea. Oh, and this is good for, you know, and
Right.
yeah.
But then they put the chemicals in it, so it's like it's part good, but then part bad. Once
That's
they
right.
touch it, yeah.
That's right. And you know what they say about the vaccines? It's not that they're bad. It's just that the agents that are stabilizing them or preserving them are what's bad for us. So why not just go with nature's cures? And so what we did was
Always.
like most herbalists put together um, herbs that were good for antibacterial, antiviral, antiparasitic, and anti-inflammatory, okay, and blood cleansers.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, of course, is because if you clean the blood, if you remove all the bacteria and so on, then the virus won't hold. Okay? If you make the body as alkaline as possible, the virus cannot proliferate. If you remove as many of the, if you, reduce the parasite load,
Oh yeah.
then you won't
Makes
have
sense.
any issues. So, what we all started taking were the herbs that were anti-parasitic. And the strongest anti-parasitic herb in Jamaica is
Bitterwood?
bitterwood or quassia.
Okay.
Right? And it, as its name suggests, very, very, very bitter. But what is interesting about bitter herbs is that bitter herbs immediately detox the liver. And when the liver is detoxed, then the digestive process goes faster and the blood gets cleaned up quicker because once the liver is doing what it's supposed to do, everything flows well. If the liver is toxic, then the body is going to go into distress. So, in terms of the herbs, you remember when they started to figure out what was good? They said vitamin C, they said zinc, and they said quercetin. Well, vitamin C is limes and lemons, zinc is found in ginger, and quercetin is found in almond leaves.
Almond leaves?
Almond leaves,
Okay.
yes, it's a natural source
So,
of quercetin.
okay, so that's interesting, but I want to ask you too, because how did you, three things that I think are very beneficial, and I wonder if you use them at all. I
Hmm.
think of the black seed oil,
Hmm.
the oregano oil,
Hmm.
and going back to the plantation, do you know about or have you ever used turpentine?
Well, you know, those three substances are not commonly available in Jamaica, but I
Mm,
know they're very good, and I suspect that in North America, those things were very available. So those things were very good. And I'm told oregano oil was amazing.
yes.
So for example, if you were out in a crowd and you just would come home and take a drop of oregano oil on your body, the whole nasopharyngeal area and the stomach and the throat, I mean, and the mouth and the throat would be, any virus in that area would be completely eliminated just by
Yeah.
taking the oregano oil.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's
that
powerful. And we do that in the winter out here, even though in Arizona it doesn't get so cold.
Right.
But we do it when the boys are feeling a little under the weather and sometimes preventative. And then sometimes once they start to feel a little yucky, we
Yes.
go right to that oregano oil, and that's a big
Absolutely.
help.
Absolutely. So we don't have anything as dramatic as that naturally as a natural herb.
Okay.
Um, but what we were doing in Jamaica is that our grandmothers used to use very interesting remedies. And one of them was menthol crystal.
Ah.
Menthol.
Menthol crystal?
Yeah, it looked just like salt, except it has long crystals.
Yeah.
And when you dissolve that in hot water and put a towel over your head and steam with that, any virus in the body along the nasopharyngeal tract in the mouth or the throat would just get completely eliminated by it, because menthol is very strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we used a lot of that, and we all were taking ginger tea, turmeric tea,
Yes.
lemongrass tea, and a lot of us found out that one of the important things with maintaining the immune system was ensuring that the central nervous system was being taken care of. So
Mm,
we were taking nervines as well. And when we say nervines, we're thinking about soursop leaf,
okay. I love soursop. Okay.
yes, and a blue vervain,
Blue, what is it?
or vervine.
Oh, okay, Blue River. Okay, I don't know about that one.
Right.
So wait, so let me ask you that because that's perfect what you're saying, and we're getting ready. Just in a few days,
Hmm.
Uranus enters Gemini on the
Yes.
7/7 portal,
Nice.
and it's there. This is the 2025 is astrologically the year of sneak preview, so it's there to like I think November 7th to 14th, and
Hmm.
then it will come back in for 7 years, April of 2026. So I've been trying to help my audience and the collective with different ways to calm the nervous system. And you said the key word, Gemini is the nervous system and Virgo, but Uranus is the back of the neck, the motherboard, right? The central nervous system, which we got to protect back here from
Yes.
illness and sickness.
Yes.
So, okay, so when people are getting ready to experience this energy, Blue Irvine, you recommend anything else like remedies to also just
Yes.
calm
Yes.
people with the nervous, calm their nerves down?
Absolutely. So blue vervain, which everybody in North America can get dried blue vervain or the blue vervain drops,
Okay.
right? Soursop leaf is something that's very Caribbean, but
Yeah.
you can get dried soursop leaves right now in almost all herbal stores.
Yeah.
Passion flower
Ah,
is a very calming herb. dried passion flower is
Okay.
also something that people use to sleep and to relax them. Another thing that everybody knows about is chamomile. Chamomile is a relaxing herb that also nourishes the central nervous system. So any of those,
So, Paula, I gotta laugh. Are we saying it wrong? Because we say chamomile. It should
you
be
know what?
chamomile.
Caribbean, we create our own versions of everything. You must know that by now.
No, no, I do know that, but hey, I can
You're saying
tell
it
you right
right.
now,
This is the British.
maybe you're saying it right and we say it wrong.
No, the
So
British people say
chamomile instead of
chamomile.
chamomile.
Yeah.
But so all of these that you just mentioned, and even the other flower, are these better if we put them and do them in teas?
Yes, they are always much better. It's always much better to take herbs in teas because it goes into your stomach warm and it goes into your bloodstream a lot quicker if it's warm. The
Okay,
body is warm. So when you bring things in hot, it just gets in, it's absorbed by the stomach and gets into the bloodstream much quicker than
I
if you
love
bring
that.
it in cold. Yeah?
You're totally right because that's what I learned and I tell my clients, right? Especially for women,
Yes.
you should not be drinking ice cold water. It throws off the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone in a woman, especially if she's after 35, when you're starting to get in that range of potential premenopause and going into menopause. That
Yes.
cold water is like the devil. You don't want to touch that stuff, right?
It is. So it's so much better when you take it hot. And it's so funny. In Jamaica, we have a very strong tea culture. Everybody in Jamaica always have to drink a cup of tea before they
That's
do
right.
anything, you know,
I
a
know.
cup of tea. And it's always a herbal tea. Lime leaf tea, green tea, black tea, mint tea. You're laughing. What?
Give me a tea. No want a tea.
Toronto tea. Yes, that's a Jamaican. It's a very Jamaican thing. Yeah, tea. Tea is
I love that. So, have you ever heard of starting off the morning with just hot plain water, then integrating in maybe a hot lemon water?
Yes, absolutely. That's
Okay.
something my grandmother, she would drink a cup of hot water
Yeah.
first before everything else.
Yeah.
And she did some,
And that kind of helps with the small and large intestine.
yeah, it
Keeps
wakes
you
up the
youthful.
whole, it wakes up the whole digestive system because
Ah,
you know it's sleeping and it's working on digestion from the night before, from the day
yes.
before. So once it gets the hot water, it's like, okay, we're supposed to wake up. All the digestive juices start to get produced, and it is now ready for the fast to be broken.
I love that. That makes so much sense. And then the hot lemon water, my wife and I, we put, she puts, can't say we, she does it, but
Yes,
she puts the essential oils in. And with the hot lemon water, sometimes she'll do peppermint or eucalyptus or tea tree or all three. And
that's
I'll tell you, Paula, we haven't had mosquito bites in 3 years. And I know the hot lemon water, that helps more so with maintaining weight, but also cleanses the liver, correct?
yes, cleanses the liver. The whole digestive system gets flushed when
Ah,
you drink that hot lemon water. So that's why a lot of people use that as their means of managing their weight because there's no buildup in the large or small intestines when you're drinking that lemon water every morning.
I
Yeah,
love that.
and it also messes with the pH in a good way. Uh,
Okay.
so your stomach juices will be just balanced, and your ability to digest efficiently is enhanced.
So I want to have a little fun with you.
Yes,
With that Pisces moon,
yes,
it is very extremely psychic and dreamy, but it's very tapped in to spirituality, imagination, creativity, and music,
yes.
right? I mean, some of the celebrities with it with music, you have Prince, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar,
Rihanna,
you know.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
that right there tells you the Pisces moon. So how do you enjoy and use and connect to music in your everyday life, and what has it meant to you in your journey?
So it's very interesting. That's an interesting question. My dad was a musician, and I cannot play a note of music. However, I have the ears of a musician because I
Yes,
grew up with music, right?
the Pisces. Yeah.
And I have exquisite taste in music. I have to tell you that. Now, for me, I listen to the music of genius people.
Yes.
Like if I'm out of balance and I just want to get back in balance, I'll just turn on some Stevie Wonder and I'll just play two of his albums and I'm back in balance.
Yes.
Right? And I'm ashamed to say this, but I listen to 30 and 40-year-old music because
That's the best stuff.
it
Yeah.
is the best stuff, but it's also I enjoy watching musicians in studio when at the moment when they were creating this masterpiece. They
Yes.
didn't even know it was going to be a masterpiece, a classic. And I'm just watching the drummer and the guy who's playing the bass and the guy who's on the keyboard, and I'm watching the person who's singing the song, just singing it with so much passion, not knowing that this song was going to be, a monument in the annals of time, forever blessing people with this frequency that's uplifting. So
Yeah.
that's how I use it. And I literally use it like that. Like I
I,
use
yeah.
genius.
I love that.
Because guess what? The mind of a genius is going to create frequencies that are going to stimulate the brains of other genius.
Yeah. I totally resonate with that. So now this is interesting. Do you prefer more of, let's say, the more reggae that's more soulful, like a Bob Marley, or have you also have an appreciation for more the dance hall? I think like a Buju Banton or even Shabba Ranks, and
So,
even now the younger people. What do you have a preference, or do you enjoy
so I
both?
can tell you straight off, I don't like what is going on now. It is garbage. It
Yes.
has not. It has no soul. It feels almost demonic already. Okay,
Oh,
I'm not. It doesn't play in my house. I cannot tolerate it
yeah.
because it seems as if the frequencies are off, which is why I can't tolerate it.
Yes, they are.
Now, remember, a musician is a healer. He's a creative, and
Yes.
so musicians are propelled by messages and downloads
Yep.
from the field, from the consciousness field.
Yes.
So when a musician that has a gift and a message for the world, when they come out with a piece now, and I hear it, I'm going to automatically go, yeah, I like this.
Yes.
So what I realized that it's not about the song, it's about the essence of the musician that they have put into the music that we're hearing. So I will hear a song last year and it's amazing to me. Or a song 5 years ago, that artist is a gifted individual. They've come with a message, they've put their beats together, and they've created a masterpiece. I love Chronics, for example, yeah, as a new artist. And, people would look at me and go, but Chronics isn't new. He's pretty old, but guess what? He, at a time when I didn't expect to like anything from any young person,
Right.
with a sound, it came with a message, and it resonated. Okay, so I can tell from the quality of the music and the quality of what is written,
Right. Right.
mindset of the person, and that's
Yeah.
what So I literally will like the music because I can hear the spirit in which it was produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt too, like with people like a Bob Marley or Michael Jackson and Stevie
Yes.
Wonder, like you mentioned.
Yes.
It was very much, I would just label it more as soul music because
Yes.
you felt it in that creation, right? Connected to
Resonated.
God's source and their soul. Yeah.
Yes, it resonated with something inside of the masses too,
Oh, yes.
not just me, right?
No, everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. So I like old time reggae. I love Third World. I love Steel Pulse. I
Yes.
love
Both.
Jimmy Cliff.
Yes.
Love Toots. And then now when we come up into dance hall, when the beginnings of dance hall,
Yeah.
Buju,
Early stages. Yes.
Buju Banton and I are about the same age, and he might be about 3 years older than me. So when he was putting out his music, I was a teenager, and we were eating up that stuff. So Buju is a legend,
Yes.
living legend in Jamaica. We
I
adore.
met him down in Washington, D.C. when I was at the College of University of Maryland, and
Oh my,
Buju and Shaba. Oh my
oh
gosh.
my
Yeah.
goodness!
I
Yeah,
love
those are living legends,
it.
and everybody loves them. Their music it spoke to a part of us. it resonated with what was going on in our life. We're teenagers, so of course we're gonna like what Buddha had to
Yes,
say.
definitely.
We're gonna balk at it now, but
But
back
it lasts, you know what I mean? You can hear it today and you
then,
still feel that spirit,
of
and I love
course,
that.
yes,
So, now this is amazing because I want you to explain to the audience what Wellness Experience Jamaica is and what do you do, because you host and lead, spiritual retreats, correct?
yes. And I think things evolve.
Yeah,
Evolve from wellness into spirituality, and what I realized during the pandemic was that the persons who were balanced, physically fit, mentally sound, and spiritually connected could not be touched
yeah,
by anything that was going on. So I
yeah,
realized, oh, wait a minute. So we need to interconnect all those three things. So Wellness Experience Jamaica is not just about, oh, take this herb, take that herb.
right.
It's about understanding the connection between the mind, body, spirit, nature, and how nature is available to us and is capable of healing. Nature is literally a healing modality that we
Yes,
always overlooked. And it becomes more relevant now that we're all living in concrete jungles of how healing it is to get out in nature and see how different your mind operates, your perspective shifts when your feet are bare and touching the soil and you're looking at a body of water.
yes. Connecting and getting that Schumann resonance and connecting to Gaia, Mother Earth. It's everything,
Yes, that's it.
you know.
So Wellness Experience Jamaica is about bringing all of that together and creating like a holistic experience. Um, the spirituality part of it kind of just evolved because we realized that the most balanced people are always the ones that have dedicated a certain amount of time per day to meditating.
Yeah.
They were balanced in their perspective, they were balanced in how they viewed the world, they were balanced in their responses. So I was like, wait a minute, there's more to it than just even taking the herbs and detoxing the body. There's more to it than that. And so, we started doing a little bit more breath work and doing morning meditations every morning online.
Yeah.
I mean, that saved some people in terms of it
It's
maintained their sanity.
so important. Wow. That's beautiful. So now is that something you still offer and do?
Yes, so we don't do every day because
Okay.
people, when everybody was on lockdown,
Oh, it was perfect time to do it
they
then.
were looking forward to meditating every morning. In
Oh,
fact,
I know they were. Oh my
I
God.
was so tired and I couldn't stop because people were like expecting it. It was what maintained their sanity during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So what I do now, I do a portal meditation once a month on my
Ah,
YouTube channel.
okay.
We do a live.
And share that with everybody how they can reach you,
So
the website, the YouTube, and Instagram. It'll
yeah,
be down below in the description, but I just want you to let the
right.
audience know as well.
So on YouTube, it's Wellness Experience Jamaica or Paula Hurlock. You'll get the same page. Yeah. And you can go through and look at all the live streams, all these live meditations that we've done. I mean, not last year, but the year before, December, we did 12 days of Christmas from December 12th to 24th,
That's
every
nice.
morning. And it was like a 1.5 hour meditation with inspirational stuff, sound bath. It was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we always try to do extra meditation and breath work leading up to the the specific
Like the solstice or
the
the
solstice,
equinox.
the equinox, the solstice,
Yes,
the
that's
equinox,
powerful.
right? And because it's powerful, it's a powerful time,
Yep.
and we have access to a vortex or a portal of energy. And so when we double up and we fast and we meditate for a couple of days together, then all of us are strengthened. And the quantum field is also strengthened with the resolve of committed, attentive people with a vision,
Yes.
their vision of heaven on earth.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yes,
So
yes.
that's what we've been doing, and we still do it. And there's a whole. I like to think of my YouTube channel as a like a time capsule where we captured very specific portal days and energy days with a meditation. So we were able to capture the essence and energy of that day in that meditation. It's on my page. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful. Oh, I love that. So
Yeah.
you guys make sure you go to Wellness Experience Jamaica and Paula Hurlock on YouTube and
Yeah.
IG.
Yeah.
So oh, I'm going to ask you about that.
Hmm.
In Jamaica,
Hmm.
do you find, let's say, since 2012 or even since 2020, that more and more people are escaping the matrix and the cognitive dissonance and the programming, tapping into remembering this like occult knowledge, like astrology or numerology and meditation?
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say yes. Jamaica is a very curious place. We were always tapped in. We never got disconnected.
Mm,
Right? Now, the problem, and I'm going to call it a problem, and people might get upset, but don't get upset, guys. Don't judge me. The problem is with the religious dogma,
yes.
as it is with everywhere in the world. All of the North America, all of Africa, you either have Muslims or Christians, and there's this big polarization, and there's a lot of dogma that is taught, and that disconnects us from some of the traditional wisdom that we were
Right.
born
No,
with.
and that's what I was meaning because I know that there's a lot of religious stuff going
Right.
on down there. It's just like
So,
everywhere. Yeah.
so because of religion, so Jamaicans are just naturally tapped in. We never lost that.
Yeah.
So we're not like Americans where we're so caught up in corporate and commerce
Right.
that we've forgotten. No, we're all very connected to our grandmothers and our great grandmothers and our family home and our family traditions and so on.
Yeah.
So we never lost that.
Right.
What has happened though is that things like astrology and meditation are demonized
Yes.
as demonic,
Yep.
and so people have stayed away from them a lot. But since 2012 and 2020, that has been opening up where people are saying, but no, this is not demonic. This is the heavenly realm, and this is the same map that the three wise men used to find Jesus. So
Yes.
yeah, if they weren't astrologers, they would have no clue.
That's right.
So
The Magi, the three wise men. That's right. That's how they
yeah,
found them.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So more of the young people, I think, are stepping away from the religious dogma and moving towards the I would say new age.
No.
Not in the sense of new age like.
Yeah. They like to throw these terms to confuse us and trap us. But you're
Mhm.
like, wait a minute, astrology is older than all of the religions. So what are we really talking
They
about?
will
You know what I mean?
call, they will want to lump astrology into the category of new age. Yeah,
Yeah.
what they're gonna do, and they're gonna say, "Oh, tarot is new age and astrology is new age and so on." But come on, from Jesus Christ's time, they were using astrology to.
Oh, and before then, yeah.
Before then, right? This is the stars. This is the way it has always been. So Jamaicans are trendsetters and trend followers. So we are following the trends. We're looking at stuff in the same way. I never worry about Jamaicans. Never worry about them. They course correct
That's
without
beautiful.
without a leader, without
Okay.
anybody coming to the front and leading the charge. They course correct by themselves as
Yeah.
a collective. So you can pull one over a Jamaican for a time T. And then when he says, okay, that's it, no more, it's all over. There's nothing you can do. And everybody will decide at the same time with no plan. It's bizarre, and I
Yeah.
love it.
I love that. So now I want to get back to because this is fascinating with your Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising, and you've got Mercury and Venus and all this stuff. Have you? Because this is very common with Pisces rising sign ascendants.
Mhm.
In a way, would you kind of describe yourself as someone feeling like you are a foreigner or an alien here on
Yeah.
planet Earth? And you kind of belong up in the cosmos?
No. I've always been very grounded.
Okay.
I know I'm here. I belong here. I can identify
Okay.
with some of the star seed traits
Yes.
of an Andromedan and Sirius B
Yeah.
and Pleiades, right? And
Yeah.
that's because I look at the traits of them and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
That's me for sure, right? But I never felt dreamy. I never felt otherworldly. I never felt like I didn't belong here. I think
Mm,
all Jamaicans have always felt like they belong here.
right.
Um,
Well,
and
because you're very tapped in culturally and grounded and connected to nature, right?
exactly, so we don't see any, we're fine, we're comfortable here. I
Okay.
find that most of the people that feel like they're aliens, um, you know, in North America
Yeah.
are usually not non-melanated. That's what
Mm,
I have observed. I've never really met a melanated person that says, "Oh no, I'm not from here. I feel like I'm from another planet."
right.
Very rarely. I mean, I have heard a few of the young ones now, but then I don't know if they're mimicking what they've been hearing. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. No,
Well,
and that makes a lot of sense because, you know, these are interesting times, right?
they are very interesting.
And I think that we've seen such cultural shifts,
Yes,
energetic shifts, and you're right that people can attach on to something that may not really be them, but because they may feel a little ungrounded, they resonate with something, and so they just go with it, and that,
right.
you can see how that could happen.
Yes, what I can understand those people who feel like black sheep, like they don't belong in their family,
Yeah.
and now I understand it to be that those are the cycle breakers, the ones that have come
Oh,
in
you got to break those generational curses. Yeah.
right. So there maybe a generation or two ago, people were feeling like outcasts in their family and that they don't belong, and they just felt like they don't belong on the planet. But it's really your soul group that you felt alienated from. So there may be confusion in that way and feeling like you don't belong here. It's really that you don't feel like you belong in your family. You know what I mean? But one thing that I do hear everybody across all races and spaces and cultures, they're always the black sheep in the family, the misfits, the ones that are not compliant because they refuse to just put up and shut up. They're going to speak. They're going to talk about how they feel. They're going to talk about the the hidden, the skeletons in the closet for the family. They're going to talk about the uncle that has been molesting all the girl children in the family for years. They're going to speak up.
And all the truth has to come out, right? But see, what people forget, right? We are brave souls, right? We chose to be here at this time,
Yes,
going from the Piscean age to the age of Aquarius. And I tell people that's kind of wonky. It's heavy energy.
yes, it
And
is.
so you're right. All that stuff is going to come up because in the age of Aquarius, it's about the revelation of truth. The lies cannot last any longer,
Yeah, that's it.
and I'm all here for it because
I think we all are.
yeah, I'm all about the truth, especially as a Scorpio rising. I have always been a truth seeker and a truth speaker my entire life,
Yes.
and I want to ask you because you have Neptune and Sagittarius in the 10th house, and that's very powerful energy. And so, do you feel your connection, right? The 10th house is sort of like the jungle. Your public image, your legacy career can be associated with your father, and you already told me how spiritual dad was. And do you find that when you're out in public, that you are not only that wisdom keeper, but do you feel that need to be the wisdom teacher and sharer of the knowledge that you have?
I didn't realize it before, but it seems like that's my persona because I'm always, a random conversation always turns into a counseling session.
I love it.
And I'm always teaching people the thing that they can drink and the thing that they can do and the thing that they can, to fix
Yeah.
the problem because So some of the problems that people are saying they have today are just ridiculous to me. Like, how can you have diabetes when we all know what causes diabetes?
Exactly.
And
I
there
feel
are
the same way.
there's so many natural remedies. You can just be drinking cinnamon tea for the rest of your days, and you will control your sugar. You know what I mean?
Just
Little
with the cinnamon tea?
cinnamon, yeah, cinnamon does that.
Yeah,
And so we just need to ask our smart devices the right questions, and we will get answers.
I
How
love it.
can you exist on this planet and have diabetes and not know that the natural what the natural
Remedies, yeah.
remedies are, so that you can
And
feel
just eating fresh fruit, right? That's beneficial too.
yes. So we really have a lot of work to do in terms of realigning ourselves with nature and nature's bounty, nature's pharmacy,
Yes.
right? We all of us, there's not one of us now that don't understand now that some of the foods that are being made available to us are poisons.
Exactly.
If you don't know that yet, you have been living under a rock.
I
And so,
I get marveled, Paula, when sometimes, I will be honest, my wife will be the one that's in the grocery store, but when I venture out with her to the store,
yeah,
I marvel to see what people have in their carts.
yeah,
To
I'm
see
talking
that they still will drink, that people
sodas
drink
and
Coca-Cola and
yeah,
eat all this junk, and you're just like, wait a minute, have you not read one book? Have you not heard
yeah,
this? Not watched some health expert? There's more information in 2025 for the collective about health than there's ever
ever
been.
in life. Yeah, and it's available at your fingertips. You
That's right.
know, guess what? When I need to know the name of a herb that's good for XYZ, I just go to my phone. What herb is good for this?
Yeah,
What herb is good for that? And I get a whole list. And if I don't know them, I'll just go with the one that I know or the two that I know. It's
I love
so simple. And we all just need to start practicing asking our devices for the information that we need, because the information is now available. In the old days, we had to go to libraries,
it.
we had to go sign out a book, we had to go search through 25 books to get the information.
Forever, right?
One touch of the enter button, and you get 25 different lists answering your questions. So we have
So
no excuses to be unhealthier than we've ever been in the last 3 centuries. We have no excuse.
you're
None.
absolutely right. So now I want to ask you what teas, because you've mentioned the teas and you even said, you studied the traditional Chinese medicine as well. What herbal teas do you find are really good to help people sleep at night and rest?
All right. So we had said
Yes.
chamomile before, and passion flower, um, soursop leaf, um, most herbs, right? Most herbs have an alkalining um, uh, character. And so when you drink most alkaline herbs, you will automatically start to feel relaxed, because it's going to start to soothe the gut and get the endocrine system functioning the way it is. And what that will do is make your body go through the cycles smoother, so that when nighttime comes, you will feel to switch off, right? Because what the problem is that our society and our schedules and our lifestyle make us so wired up that we can't switch off or um, tone down as it becomes night.
Right.
Okay, so it's not just about the herbs that you can drink.
Yes.
It's
We need
about,
to unplug as well. Yeah.
you have to adjust your lifestyle. I was told that even the blue light from our devices
That's right.
we're looking at our devices after 10, there is a point, there's a substance in our brain that keeps on being produced, and then we can't switch off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Switch off.
Because we're supposed to get the natural, like the red light, right, that we get from the sun, and the blue light. And I've been telling this to all my clients, like, number one, you definitely need the glasses to protect your eyes when you're on the screens, right? The smart computers and the cell phones. But you should unplug and turn something off at least 30 minutes before you're trying to calm down and go to bed.
That's it. Because remember, a lot of the technology is messing with our central nervous system, and it's also messing with our endocrine system.
Yes.
Our devices, all of them, and our Wi-Fi. So we're in our house and we think we're in our private home, and we're going to, calm down and go towards bed. But everybody's wired up because we're being bombarded by a lot of frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies.
A lot.
And so what we need to also do, we also need to utilize those crystals and keep the crystals around our bedroom, the ones that will make us sleep.
That's exactly where I was going next.
In your
So
house.
tell the audience, like, what are your favorite crystals, and how often do you connect with them, and what type of crystals are really major or prevalent in Jamaica?
Yeah, so I'm a grid worker, okay? So
Yes.
I work with crystals and I work with them on a crystal grid, and I keep them around me all the time. So in my house I have all the crystals. I have celestite, which is a very calming crystal. It's angelic.
Yeah.
I have oh my goodness, why all the crystals, all the names just that flew out of my head a while ago. I have selenite, which
Selenite.
is a clearing, cleansing crystal. It clears all the other crystals.
Yeah.
Black tourmaline.
The tourmaline.
Yeah.
You like amethyst and clear quartz?
I have 3 massive pieces of amethyst, and I have amethyst earrings and necklaces, and I have lapis lazuli and quartz. Yes, and carnelian. Carnelian is one of the high energy crystals, but I like to wear crystals on, and I even have a crystal consciousness course on my website, because
Okay.
I believe that the crystals are working to strengthen our energy field, because I do feel
Yeah.
that the next attack will be on our energy field, and our energy field is our first line of defense,
Yes.
even for viruses, because if your energy field is strong, it's impenetrable to even physical illnesses. It
Yeah.
is, right? So the crystals work very, very powerfully with your energy field, which is your aura. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I always, no matter what, you will never see me in this life without a crystal on my hand, around my neck, in my ears.
You keep one in the purse as well?
Everywhere where we keep crystals, I keep them.
I love it. Oh, Paula, that's so great.
I have them in my handbag. I have them in my bed. I have them in my bedroom. I have them in the living room, everywhere. But
Wow.
definitely, I want to recommend that people. Why do people wear diamond rings? Why? Diamonds are one of the toughest crystals and one of the highest vibration crystals, right? So when you wear it, it strengthens your aura. Why do people wear a diamond ring when they get married? It
Yeah.
forges a connection between the two people.
Yeah.
Why do they wear diamond earrings? It gives you clarity. Why do royalty wear crowns with diamonds and
Diamonds and gold
sapphires
and
and rubies around them? Because it stimulates the pineal and the pituitary gland, gives them clarity so that they can govern with wisdom and understanding and balance. Okay,
that's so
so
true. Yeah.
if the leaders are wearing the crystals, then take a cue. It has to have some value. And they've also demonized crystals.
I know.
Demonized crystals, there's something up.
But see, that's where it's so illogical, right? That you get caught up in religion thinking that crystals are demonic, but you're like, wait a minute, we've got crystals in our watches, in our computers, in our cell phones,
Yeah,
and everywhere on the televisions. So then I'd say to those people, like, well, so then you're gonna stop using all that because they
yeah,
have crystals.
yeah. But then the fact that those things all have crystals should tell us a lot. That the crystals are uh,
Powerful.
portal to
Yes.
other dimensions and will get us to be operating closer to the dimensions, the higher dimensions, in fact. Yeah. So I am 100% all about the crystals, the smoky quartz, the clear quartz, the
Yeah.
diamonds, all of these. This is labradorite. Labradorite is considered the crystal of transformation.
Ah.
So if you are in a transition where you feel like you're elevating, then you need to get yourself a set of labradorite to wear because it's going to aid in your transformation.
Now
And
that's one I'm not familiar with, Labradorite. Okay, I like that.
labradorite, yeah, it looks like
I like obsidian and moldavite, with different energies and protection, but Labradorite, I'll check
it
that out.
looks like the aurora borealis. So it looks bluish, greenish, kind of uh, rainbow vibe, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
beautiful.
yes.
So I wanted to also go back to your Pisces moon because when you have the moon in the first house and the ascendant, and you alluded to it before, but I think it's kind of fascinating to bring that clarity to people in terms of how it actually plays out in your life. With the Pisces and the moon on the ascendant in general, people say you can wear your emotions on your face. But when you have the moon on the ascendant, people are like drawn to you. Like they feel like they have to come up to you and like verbally vomit their life story to you and always talk to you and share. So do you
Of
associate that with
course.
that?
Yes, it's very interesting. Like, um, you know, all my friends know that if they need a question answered on anything, including where can I get a box with made of white thing with they'll call me. So it doesn't have to be esoteric. It just
Yeah, just go to Paula.
yeah, and I'll be able to direct them where they can, and usually I can. So I can give people advice on entrepreneurial stuff, on sourcing stuff, on manufacturing, on production, on agriculture, on tourism, on crystals, on herbs, on health. And it's just very strange, but that's just how it is. So
I
like
love that. I love that. And
everything but finance.
well, but what about your family? Would they come to you also for advice or insight?
Family
Cousins or siblings or people?
My family thinks I'm nuts. I am the outlier,
Yeah.
black sheep, the cycle breaker. So I'm not a favorite.
Okay. But see,
But they know. But they know who I am.
those are all good things.
Yeah, but they know, as much as they perhaps resent certain things that I do and I say, they
Mhm.
know. They know. They know.
They know that when Paula speaks, she's not lying. She's
They
speaking
know.
truth.
Yeah, and they also know, okay, you can't be brilliant when you're for the first half of your life and then suddenly become stupid. No. So they know that even though they don't agree with what I'm saying.
Right. That you're not walking down a path that don't make no sense. Paula, it makes
Exactly.
sense to
So,
you. And you
so
know.
the reasons why they don't agree is because they're in denial, not because I'm wrong.
Oh, I love that. I love so let me ask you this.
Mhm,
Let's say my audience, they want to connect with you and come down for a retreat in Jamaica,
mhm.
share how they can connect and reach out to you. And then what type of stuff do you do for people and experiences do you, help
Right.
manifest for the collective?
So my retreats are they're not a commercial venture. So they're just usually when spirit says, okay, you can do a retreat. And if I don't get the go ahead, I cannot do one. I will not do one. Also, I'm organizing to close to the end of the year where I will be in a space where I can host people on demand. In other words, if someone says, I need a retreat, I'll say, yes, you can come. And so I will be offering situations where a person can come alone or two or three persons can come
Right.
during 1 month, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
for now, I do my retreats when I'm instructed, and my next retreat, there will be two in December. One is going to be here in Jamaica
Okay.
in the um, first 5 days of December,
Okay.
right? And it's that way because the second half of December, December 12th to 22nd, myself and the mentee, the Awakener, we're going to be doing a pilgrimage then,
Mm.
Kemet. So we're going to be in Egypt.
Wow.
And we're not going to just be touring the pyramids and pointing and taking pictures beside the pyramid. A mentee has organized a particular path that all of the group is going to take. We're going to be doing certain activations at certain points, receiving codes, putting codes in, and we're going
Yeah.
to be going into, the king's chamber inside of the Sphinx, Temple of Isis, Temple of all the temples, and we're doing the full pathway. And what she has put together was downloaded to her.
Wow.
Not let me go to a tour guide and get.
Right, 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 right. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So she and I are going to be doing that. So I encourage everybody, if you're not following me on Instagram, you have to have a strong stomach to follow me on Instagram. I'm very controversial.
No, you're great.
If you feel like you can handle it, then I, I'm Paula.
I know my people can handle it, but I think the collective is more people are
Oh no,
ready.
no, you would be amazed. Listen to me. I am here in Jamaica. I had about 2,000 odd followers that are Jamaican that I love them. They love me. They're friends from high school, friends from work. Now, in this present time, they avoid my page like the plague. They do not like or look at it because guess what? I'm so controversial that they don't even want to like a post because they don't want to be associated with me. You know, the American
Oh,
embassy is looking at your social media
yeah,
presence and your social media footprint now. So they avoid me like the plague, which it used to hurt me, but now I'm okay.
yeah.
I'm okay. New earth, new path.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and you have to realize we as light workers and you know, raising the consciousness for this ascension, we're not always going to please everybody. We've got to be authentic to ourselves and to God source creator
Yes.
and to the grid and the field, but to our soul's path and destiny. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And when they're ready, they may come back to the page. But
Yes.
you know what I mean? They gotta just, you
You
know,
know,
learn
I
and
used
tap
to
in.
play around with the algorithms during the pandemic. You know what? I used to put the controversial stuff. I'd freak everybody out. And then before the algorithm can really pin me, then I would put some bikini pictures, right? Let me tell you, I never got sent to the jailhouse even once.
That's
And people
smart.
were
I
like,
like
"Oh,
that.
how did that happen?" I was like, well, oh,
So
one day
you
sugar,
you
one
go
day
you're
salt.
going from anti this and anti that to like, oh look, I'm on the beach with a bikini eating a melon.
And that, I mean, that really messed with the algorithm. So before I could get sent to the naughty corner, I was like putting a very popular post, and putting myself, under a tree, and it's a beautiful view, and everybody be like, they forget that they're avoiding me, and they're like, yeah, we like this. So it was very
Oh God, I love that. You don't want to be put in a naughty corner.
the naughty corner. No, 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 no. I
I
mean, a lot
love
of
that.
my friends during the pandemic, they got penalized for their posts.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Well,
getting away with
and that's what's unfortunate, Paula.
yeah,
There has been way too much, I mean, since 2020, even till today,
yes,
too much censorship,
of course.
and that's a thing where you realize the powers that be, they don't want us speaking truth and awakening,
Right.
and that's a challenge.
I have a good friend. He's one of the videos that of me that went viral were from I Never Knew TV, and his channel got into big trouble. And guess what they spoke about? Honey bees, honey.
Hmm.
I mean, I would never think there's anything controversial about that.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So yeah,
It's yeah.
that's how it goes. So yeah, so you guys, if you're bold enough, you can follow me over there.
You
And
guys go follow her. You will love it. Now, how can what besides the website, or can people directly email you? Give them that
right,
information as well,
okay, so
because
my website is paulahurlock.live,
oh,
Live, because I could not afford paulahurlock.com
okay,
because it went. I had it before, and I left it for 2 years because I never had a website. And when I went back to go get my own domain, it cost over $400
oh my goodness,
because my name apparently became the algorithms picked up my name and it had a more of a value. So it's so amazing how things work. So
yes,
paulahurlock.live,
all right, I like that.
yeah, and it has all of my past courses. If you want to become a member of the Heaven on Earth community, you can also do that. Once you um, sign up to be a member of the Heaven on Earth community, you'll have access to all of the courses that are on there free.
That's beautiful.
We have 5 meetups per month. The crystal grid activation, new moon crystal grid activation. We do one ancestral resolve session at the end of the month with Rohan Clark. We do one trauma release Tuesday and one ascension Saturday, as well as our portal meditation day. So that
Okay, I love. Now that's awesome. Now, how do they find your community?
yeah, paulahurlock.live.
Oh, okay. So they're the communities there. Okay. And is
The
it like a monthly subscription or stuff like that? Or
monthly subscription,
that's
and
awesome.
right, and anything outside of those 5 things, usually there will be a little bit of a charge too. But the members will get like a 50% discount, so they don't have to worry. So that it pays to be a member of that
Yes.
community because we are actually growing each other. And as I always say, what we're doing is that we're preparing the leaders of New Earth. Because
Amen.
leadership in New Earth is not going to look anything like leadership.
No,
It's
no.
not going to be,
It is heart centered.
yeah, and it's going to be just anybody whose heart is pure and their light is powerful and their intention is pure. So it can be any mother, any sister, any brother who is ready to share and to help to guide people towards
Mm,
what they need. So it's you, it's me. We are
yeah.
going to be the future leaders of New Earth. That's us. And that's everybody who's listening to this.
I love that. Now, as we get ready to wind down, I want you to just, explain that in a different way for the people, because, they hear these words and these terms, the 3D, the 5D, ascension, the new earth. Explain really in your perspective
Mhm.
what that is, because what people have to understand, it's a frequency, a vibration, right?
It
And
is.
our ascension. And so tell people how you connect and your I guess journey to ascension in the new earth.
Right. So essentially, what is happening is that there is a physical process and a spiritual process going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
So Earth is going through an ascension process. In other words, Earth's vibration is raising. So the powers that were know that this is going to happen. And so they are wanting to ensure that things remain the way they are, where they are able to control and manipulate
Yeah.
and be greedy and be
All
manipulative.
that fear mongering.
Right. So what they have done is that they are rolling out simultaneously with Earth's ascension, which is energetic. They're they're rolling out a new world order.
Yes.
So what we're gonna have is the new world order and new Earth side by side. You at this time get to choose whether you want to go New World Order or you want to go New Earth. What is New World Order? Let me tell you what New World Order is. It's digital currency, it's transhumanism,
Yep.
it is the Internet of Things, it is 5G, it is 6G, it is implanting wearable devices in
Chips in the
your
head, like
body,
Mr. Musk. Yep. All that foolishness. Yep.
right? And being constantly attached to your devices through your head pieces and your Fitbit and all of those things. That's New World Order. What is New Earth? New Earth is the group of people that are meditating every day, that are eating alkaline electric foods,
Yeah.
that are conscious, that are pure in heart, that have a vision of heaven on earth, that are connecting to Mother Earth, that are connecting to each other, that are trying to, as best as possible, live off grid, that are minimizing their consumption of 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 of, of artificial things.
Yes.
The ones that are wanting to eat from Mother Earth rather than from a supermarket. That's New Earth. And how is that going to look? It's going to look like a group of people that have rejected technology to some extent, rejected being in the cities, in the swing of things.
Yeah.
You know, they're not all about the tech and the
And just
tech.
the overdoing of the materialism and all that. Yeah.
Right. So right away you see the two different people and you're already able to see them in the world. You're able to see them in your family. Those people that are all about the tech and the latest car and the latest clothes and the latest house and the $1 million house and da da da. They're going towards New World Order and the crypto and the da 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 and then those others that are saying, "Man, I want to go find 3 acres of land and I want to go farm organic food."
Yes. I want to grow my own stuff. Yep.
Those are the ones that are going to be New Earth. So you see that the leadership of New Earth is going to be completely different than the leadership of the New World Order. The thing is, we're all going to be coexisting on the same planet at the same time. It's already begun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. Oh, Paula, I could talk to you for three years and a day straight.
Oh man, it's
This has
one
been
eleven. It's exactly 1 hour and 11 minutes in,
it.
so we are
Oh, perfect.
perfectly on time.
Exactly. And, I just thank you for not just for our connection, but I thank you for the work that you're doing, the work you've done, and the work that is, coming up ahead because it is important. It is so necessary. Your energy, your vibration, and your voice and your heart is so needed for the collective. So I really appreciate you. I mean that. And, that's the thing. I find that when people like you and I were doing this, we, we're such givers that we also have to be open to receiving.
Yeah,
So I am always mindful to let people know that I see them and that that they need to receive their flowers. So
thank you.
thank you and keep going, keep showing up and being Paula Hurlock because people are watching and it's important and they need it. You know what I mean? So I
Thank you.
salute you and I thank you.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate what you are doing as well with the community, connecting the dots between astrology and helping people to understand who they are. Because I
Yeah.
don't really understand, and even talking to you helped me to understand some of the things that I just took for granted. So
Yeah.
keep that up. That's so important for people to know who they are and be
It's
able to make
beautiful.
decisions based on who they are and what the prevailing configurations are, to
Yeah.
know, okay, surge ahead or stop and wait. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Because, it's really the natal birth chart is the map of your life and the remembrance of your soul. And I tell
Mhm.
people there's no victimhood in the 3D or 5D. You chose this chart,
Yes,
right?
yes,
I'm helping you to realign, to remember
yes,
who you are on a soul level.
yes,
Right? You chose your parents, right? Your children chose you. You are their guide, and they are our teachers, the kids. So, there's so much that's reciprocal. But I tell people one of the biggest keys, self-love. You got to
yes,
love yourself.
absolutely.
Because once you love yourself, then everything else can kind of
You
start
love
to pour.
everybody else too. When you love yourself, you love everybody else, and you're able to show compassion and empathy. And if this world were just filled with empathetic, compassionate people, it would be such a different world, you know? So we're on our way to that.
Yes, we're on our way. We're doing the good work.
Let me say this to everybody here. My evidence that we're on our way is that I'm surrounded only by the good, compassionate, kind, light-filled people. Because
Yeah.
I so rarely come across anything else now, and it's because I am seeing my own reflection. So when we cultivate this within ourselves,
Yeah.
then we're going to end up surrounded by our mirrors. And it's a beautiful thing. Another piece of evidence of what New Earth is going to look like.
Yes, I love that. You said it perfectly, my friend.
Yes.
So I thank you so much. You guys go to Wellness Experience Jamaica. Go to paulahurlock.live. Find her on IG and YouTube, and just connect. Now, also, people can purchase herbs from you as well.
Yes, I should have mentioned that before, guys. I don't
Please.
know what's going on, right? You're going to be seeing this on July 1st. I am hearing that there is a bio attack getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
My herbs are already in place in North America, so you can go on my page and order. And that herbal blend is a detox blend, and also a blend that reduces spike protein for those persons who took the vaccine. Because
Yeah.
I knew that people there would be regret, and so the herbs that are natural spike protein reducers are um, star anise, cat's claw, yeah.
Yeah.
So my herbal blend has all of those herbs that would protect your central nervous system, boost your immune system.
Say those two herbs again.
Star anise,
Star anise,
yes, and cat's claw,
cat's claw. Okay. Yeah.
right? So I have
I
a
know bromelain helps as well. Bromelain is good.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So my blend has all of those herbs and a ton more, and my blend does everything. It cleans the blood, it detoxes the lungs, it detoxes the digestive system, the endocrine system. It just does a whole body clean without sending you to the toilet a whole lot. It just you can actually take it while you're going to work. If you want to turn it up a little, you can add senna herb to it. It's in a powder blended form.
Okay.
I do it myself, so you're not gonna get some artificial anything. The herbs are from Jamaica.
Yeah.
I put in some traditional Chinese medicine herbs, but those are from good sources. But
Yeah.
it's a really great blend. You start to see the results within 2 days, where you have clarity of thought, you have
Mm.
clarity of mind. Your bowel movements are
Activate that third eye. Yep. That
yeah.
pineal gland. Yeah.
So definitely, if you're interested in the herbal blend, go to paulahurlock.live for that. Okay?
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. This has been an honor and a pleasure. And you're always welcome. You have to come back on before the year's out. I would love that.
If there's any major controversy or drama going on, I'll happily come.
Oh, you can talk about it with me here. We'll get into it.
Yes,
I
just like
love it. I love it.
thank
Well,
you for having me and keep up the good work. And for all you guys out there, stay safe. It's gonna get a little rocky out there, but stay
yes.
grounded and
Yeah.
remember that you have a community that you can come to be among like-minded persons so you can stabilize each other.
Yes. That is so true and so important. And we have to just remember to, the love will always conquer and defeat that hate and that fear. So turn off that silly idiot box, that television, and vibrate high, and take that time to build up your spiritual muscles, right? With the meditation, connecting with your crystals and connecting to Gaia, Mother Earth. It's, you get those right herbs from Paula, you'll be good to go.
Will be. Sure.
All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. This has been episode 355. I like that. That's a powerful number. 13, right? And that's 1 and 3 is 4.
Yes.
So that speaks to the inner rebel in both of us. So I love that.
That's it. Beautiful. So, thank you for having me.
All right, you guys. Bye-bye.